This feeling, we want it. The good life, I started. No reason to flaunt it. Just show me you got it.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm Katie.
I'm Wendy.
I'm Lori.
And welcome back to the Front Row Show.
Created by fans for the fans.
This week we are excited to announce the newest member of Seventh Heaven. Please welcome Frankie Harchut.
Yay! I'm so excited. Hi!
Hello. Oh, can you not hear us?
He's connecting to audio.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi! Can you hear us?
Can't hear ya.
We can't hear you.
Let me,
It's a cool place, though. No,
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Oh man. Okay.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, going nuts.
Technology, right? Isn't it great?
Yeah. No, this is cool. I wanted to. I was working on some other stuff before this, so I wanted to get here a little bit earlier to set it up with the computer because I've only done it with my phone before, but it stinks with the phone. I mean, it works with it, but this is for the lighting I have in here. It works a lot better with this. So.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Awesome. This is cool. How are you?
Well,
yeah,
thank you
wonderful.
for taking to sit and chat with us tonight.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, you're the newest member. I mean, how does that feel?
It's really cool. I'm having a good time playing and just it's just nice to get out again and be able to just play drums. And I was used to playing so many shows, and I mean I know the guys were too, but it was like before this I was so busy. And then it's just, I mean, I think the day that they put the cutoff on shows, like I think I had like 3 shows that day, and it was like, I mean, yeah, all right, it'll be a couple weeks, and then next thing you know, it's like I didn't play a show for like 4 months, and I was like, ooh, and then it was scattered. So it's just really nice to play again, and to especially to be in a setting like this where they have they do original stuff, and they have great fans like you guys and everyone else, and it's just really it's cool, and I'm grateful. So
Well, we're grateful they're playing
Yes.
again too.
I bet.
Oh my God, that was rough.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah, for all of us it was fans and musicians and everyone. It just that you lose track of what to do. I mean, I didn't I can only practice I mean, I love practicing, and like I do a lot of recording at the studio here and stuff, but it's not like performing and seeing people laugh and smile and all that, and just have a great time, and it just really it's just nice to be able to do that again. So
It is. It's good to see that industry coming back.
yes. Well, definitely. We gotta keep going up though, it needs
Yes,
to
absolutely.
safely.
Summer for sure.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it, definitely.
Got that right. So do have a question. So can you tell us the story of how you got the job and all that fun stuff?
How I got hooked up with the band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, it kind of cut out for a sec. So I mean, I've been playing drums for a long time, since I was a kid, and I pretty much just, I mean, I would always tell people when I started getting busy, like that people would ask me sometimes, like, how did you get, playing and doing shows? And one of the biggest things was, and this is, pretty obvious, but just posting videos, I mean, you got to meet people, but personally, like just someone like Richie, like I met him once at my old music store that I worked at, but besides that, before we started playing, that was the only time I had ever talked with him. But with the great thing, there's the internet is not great for so many reasons because people fight and argue on there, and I don't like that. But there are other good, one of the good things about it is being able to post videos, and you never know who's watching, and that's kind of what happened here. Like, I mean, Nick would comment on videos every now and then, and Mike, the old drummer, was a good friend of mine, and he would always be really supportive. And Richie had talked with me about doing something with one of his other bands that he works with in the past, and just didn't work out. I was the commitments, I couldn't do it. So pretty much, I more or less, that's how it happened. I mean, just putting videos up and just like, getting out there and playing shows. And that was really the biggest thing. And that was pretty much it. And then what happened was Mike had wanted to step away, and once again, Mike is a great friend. And I'll share a really like personal story later about Mike that I'll always be grateful for him for doing for me something he did for me a while back. But he had he wanted to step away, and he had some things going on, and he had actually suggested me, and Richie was watching some videos that I posted, and he had wanted to at least have me come try out. And Adam had actually messaged me like 3 or 4 weeks prior and was like, hey man, we want to, or he didn't say anything about the band, but he just said, I respect what you do, and I just wanted to tell you that. And it was really nice. It was just out of nowhere, and it was just cool to to have him do that. I thought it was real cool. And the next thing Richie hit me up, and we started talking, and he was explaining to me like how the band was operating, or how the band operates, and what they do. And it just it's very professional. And just I like that, and how it's ran, and they do original music, and that was a big thing for me. So sorry, I went on a rant there, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, posting videos and just like getting out there and playing shows was really the biggest thing, how I got hooked up with these guys. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this industry because as an observer, I mean, following all these Chicago bands, everyone is so supportive of each other's band.
Yes.
And like you said, with Adam messaging you, that's amazing to hear.
Yes.
And I love seeing other bands and artists on Facebook commenting on other people's posts, and they're like, oh, that sounded so good, or I saw you guys and you were amazing. I love seeing that. And
yes, me too. I love seeing it. I will agree with you for sure, but there is also, and we don't have to discuss it, but there is, unfortunately, with every good, there is a very, very dark side of that too. And I don't like that. There's a lot of drama sometimes, but you are correct. There are a lot of positives out there, and people are supportive for the most part.
For the most part, yes.
But there's always, I mean, that's with anything in life. There's going to be some negative people here and there, and you just got to kind of look past it and just do what you do, and that's it. So
Yes.
That's what I always try to do. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Lori. We're
Lori?
gonna pass it to
Sorry,
you.
if you hear a random train go by, I don't think you'll hear it pick up in there, but I have this train yard that's like right next door to my practice spot, and it's like every now and then I'll be
Mm-hmm.
have like all my mics set up like above where I have my laptop on the drums and all that, and I'll hear like this train coming every now and then. I'm like, what is that noise? And then I'm like, oh my god, the horn thing, and it's rattling the room and all that. So
Well,
but,
if you hear a random dog, that's probably me.
oh,
Lori.
wonderful.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's great.
Yeah, that's what I need. But I need a dog. We'll switch. I'll take the dog. You take the train.
That's fine.
Oh
It's
man.
fine. All right, Miss Lori, you're up.
So another question.
Yeah.
You said that you've been playing drums for a long time. How did you get into playing drums, and why drums?
Okay.
How young were you?
What's that? How young was I?
Mm-hmm.
I started playing. Well, my dad is a musician, and my mom always wanted to be, but she never really. She always tried. Like, she still wants to play guitar and all that, but she never really pursued it, and never. She likes to start stuff, and sometimes can't really get going with it. But I really do. She has tried, so I really do want her to try that again. But my dad has always been a musician, and he and my stepmom she was a singer, and so I kind of grew up with it. and I don't know, drums. I don't even think I started playing drums originally. I don't remember. I think I was messing around with like guitar and stuff, but that was for a very short time. And I think when I was 6 or 7 is when I was 8, I got my first drum set. And it was funny because I was in band and all my friends were playing like trumpet and all that stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, it has its place, obviously. But the guy, I wanted to go to drums, and the teacher was like, "Oh, well, I did the audition thing. I went in, did my thing, and I wasn't very good then." And he's like, "Oh, well, I don't think you're good enough to play drums." And then I told my dad, and he wasn't too happy about that, so he went and got me a drum kit, and and that was it. I started playing and played along with records, or not records, well, CDs then, but and yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. So I was 8 years old, right around then when I got my first set. And yeah, why drums? I really don't know. I don't know. I think that it really makes, I mean, singing and like guitars and drums and all that make a really, are all important. It all adds up. But I think drums really can, dictate how a song is going to turn out. And I see it, or I hear it often when someone sends me, like, even with the band's new record, they'll send me stuff with like drums on, with like programmed drums on there, like electronic drums. And it's like, it'll be just like real, just basic drum beat, like just nothing, it sounds like a machine playing pretty much. And then I'll put a track on there, like a magical drummer or anything, but it's like, it just sounds, if any drummer put a track on there, it just sounds so different. And there's so many different ways that you can shape a song with the drums. So I don't know, I guess it's that way with every instrument, but I do like that aspect of drumming, how you can really mold and dictate a song by what you play and how you play it. So
We've noticed at shows too. I mean, we've gone for years now,
yeah.
and hearing these songs, like we've heard Beautiful Life so many times. We've heard Midwest Girls, but as soon as you came in, they sounded so fresh and so different, and it was so interesting and cool to hear that kind of new take on it.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just that's so cool. Yeah, because I don't, for me, I mean, I don't know. I just always like to play. I think that's more like a feel thing, like that's just how you approach the songs. And just I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just like every drummer's different, like if you hand a guitar player a guitar and say, "Hey, play an A chord," like it'll sound similar, but everyone's going to have their own way of doing it. And I don't know, I think that's really what I've tried to focus on, is just playing, I don't know, I guess it sounds lame, but like, I play from the heart. I anything playing, whether it's well, I don't know, whatever lame song, like like I used to do live band karaoke, so if I'm playing like Party in the USA or something, like I still try to play with that same intensity, and I have fun, and I think that's really important. I mean, you got to remember what you're doing up there, and I mean, I'm grateful, and so is the band, to have people like you guys come out, and friends and fans and all that. And just it's I just always try to stay grounded with that, and so does the rest of the band too. They're very very grounded with all that, so it's awesome, and I like that a lot. So
Cool.
but I do appreciate that comment, though. That's awesome.
Well, like you said, I mean, everyone plays it differently, but I mean,
Yeah.
after going for so many years, we were so used to how it sounded, and not, I mean, it sounded so different, but it sounded like a whole new song, basically. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's just that's like we were saying. It's just everyone plays it a little bit differently, but that you guys noticed that. And and it's not like it's just it's not like there's a drastic thing going on. Like Dino's still doing the same mix, they're still doing the same thing. But I think also I'm trying to say it without, because I love Mike, and I actually saw Mike play at Sundance Saloon. I was there with Selena, and she said hello, by the way.
We say hello back.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'll tell her. And well, she'll see it probably in a few weeks. But anyway, so I was at that show, and like Mike sounded incredible. I told him, I was like, "Dude, you sound great.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome." So it's not like Dino and everyone's doing the same thing. But when you have, I mean, just one person that comes in could change. I mean, this could be a sing, like, let's say, God forbid, I don't ever want this to happen, but if there was a different singer in or something, like, it's going to change the whole thing of the band. And that's just one person, but, let's just say a drummer comes in, and let's say I came in and I couldn't keep time or something, it's going to change the whole aspect of the band. It's
It
just
does.
so one person, attitude and like playing wise can change everything. But not that Mike had a bad attitude or anything, like, he's a great player, but it's just,
Yes.
I'm just saying, just in a general context,
Yes, absolutely.
it can change everything. So
Cool.
No, because we watch you play and we see you sit there and you're flinging your drumsticks and you're hitting the cymbals and things with your elbow.
And
It
your
makes
foot.
it fun to watch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Foot, yeah. I didn't tell you, but I did kind of I did kind of pull a few muscles when I did that. I'm out of shape, but it's not it's my own thing. So
But it's
Or when you put
cool.
your leg up there.
yeah, I got to get back in shape. That's not good. That's a sign that I haven't been playing that. I mean, I practice a lot, but I haven't been like doing the show portion of it that much, So yeah, I've always liked performing. The drummers, some of my favorite drummers, well, I don't really, it's hard for me to have favorite drummers, but I have a couple, but favorites are tough for me. But I've always liked people that perform, that put on a show that are interesting to watch, it's something about just going to a show. If you're just like, doing, I mean, if you're like a jazz club or something and you're just like, or a cocktail lounge or something, that's cool, but if you're at like a like a pop rock, even like a heavier stuff, like a hard rock metal show or something, like you want to be entertained, that doesn't,
You want to rock out. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So it doesn't look right if I'm just like, it just, I mean, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of drummers, like my favorite drummer doesn't do any show stuff, but he doesn't have to, because he's just so good, but that's his thing. Everyone has their thing. And I think that that stuff that I do, it all comes together, and that's why, like, and this is totally, I won't talk about this too long, but this is a off topic, but like, I don't like doing, I will do them sometimes, but like whole drum solos and stuff, like a couple people have asked me, they're like, oh, we got to bring back a drum solo. And it's like, but I look at it like the whole performance as like a solo, like from start to finish, it's all kind of molded into just a big crazy thing. And yeah, so that's kind of, that's that. But yeah, I don't know. I've always liked people that have entertained, and you want to be entertained when you go to a rock, any sort of rock show, you want to be entertained. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
And people laugh too. I like that. You guys can't always, when I would play at Bub City, and it was this place in River North, we would do live band karaoke, and I would always, I played a really small drum set, but I would always have like those little yellow fans that the band has. I would always say, like, that's my other drum, because I would start hitting that, and I would hit like the sign behind me and stuff. You got to see it sometime. I got some videos. They would laugh. All the staff was like, oh my God.
That's cool.
But it's I like to make people laugh. Yeah. So
We get a kick out of seeing
know.
you
I'm an
use your
idiot.
elbow and your
yeah.
foot.
The
We get a
elbow.
kick out of it every time.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, I enjoy doing that, and if you guys like it, even better then. So
Arms all up and down and standing.
yeah, right. Oh man. And I'm gonna get more. I'll do some more stuff too as soon as I get a little more comfortable with everything. I've just been recording and drum editing and doing all this crazy stuff for this record, and it's just I really haven't even had a ton of time to practice. So once I get going with everything, I'll be able to dive in a little more and have some more fun. But I just want to make sure that I'm playing okay, and then I'll start going start getting all wild. I mean, I'm getting a little wild, but I'll start getting even more wild. So
Cool.
yeah, it'll be awesome.
So you mentioned your other bands. What kind of bands were you in before this?
Oh man. I don't know. I was in kind of well, as far as like original stuff or cover stuff that I was doing before this.
Either or. Oh,
Okay. Original stuff. I mean, I've been playing in like just original bands since I was like, well, probably 8 or 9 years old. My stepbrother. That's when we started. And and we would kind of do that, and we had bands together and stuff through through high school. And I was thinking about that the other day. I've always been pretty busy with bands in high school. Like I was doing like 4 or 5 projects when I was in high school, and you know, just and all different stuff like rock. I was doing 80s stuff when I was a kid. The singer for Hairbangers Ball, if you ever heard of them, Brian, him and I used to. We weren't like in the band like time, but we worked with the same guy, and we had like an 80s cover band, and we used to do like, you know, Kiss and Poison and all that stuff. We were like 15, and we just thought it was cool to, like, it was the performance thing, like the 80s, it's all the performances, the flash, and yeah, so we used to do that. I mean, we loved it. I mean, so we were 15, 16 years old playing at our talent show doing that. So it's like, I've always kind of been about, you know, that sort of thing, and we were doing originals too, like rock stuff. And then I started doing, I've always been into like heavier music. So, you know, I would play, I had an original band. The last one that was like, that did like touring and stuff was called The Bloodline. And that was kind of like, it's on like Spotify and stuff. And it was kind of like, it was heavy, but there were it's a lot of singing on there. So it's not too like growly and all that stuff. You know, I have bands that were like that, but I come from a pretty heavier background as far as that stuff goes. But then I started doing the like the cover stuff around town, and that was a lot of 80s stuff. It was a lot of like, I did weddings, I did private parties, you know, pretty much Adam and I are very similar in that aspect. You know, Richie, when I talked to him first, Richie's only done Seventh Heaven since, you know, he was a kid, and he has every show he's ever done listed. It's actually pretty incredible, to be honest with you. He has every show he's ever done listed since the 80s. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I have like every show in the past 5 years I've done, but to have it that long is unbelievable. So, but Adam and I pretty much, he wanted me to talk to him because he's worked with pretty much every person that I've worked with. You know, as far as like bigger, like the more like busier people, like that run bands and stuff around town. So I talked with him, and you know, he kind of told me, you know, yeah, I've done this, that, and the other, and I've done the original band touring and all that. So we had a connection with that, and so it's been everything. I mean, you know, it's you know, whatever kind of, I've done weddings, you know, what the bar mitzvahs or whatever you say, like however you say it, like I've done all that stuff. I've done anything you can imagine. So, but it was a lot of just like regular, like whatever you hear it there, like a wedding band, you know, top 40 stuff like that, rock, 80s stuff. I was in a band called the Hair Band Night, and I think that's where a few of these guys started watching the stuff I was doing. And it was more like the flashier stick stuff, and sometimes our shows would overlap at festivals and all that. So I would talk to Nick like really briefly, because they're usually doing like 100 shows in a day, so they'd have to run away, you know, and I got to get out of here. But you know, so I talked to them for a sec, you know, how you doing, this, that, and the other. So I think that's kind of where they saw me do a lot of my stuff. I did country for years with one of my best friends, this guy Scott DeBose. He's yeah, still to this day one of my best friends. And so I worked with him for years, and he was kind of the first guy that gave me like you know, a shot around here, like just playing. And you know, I remember when I made a little money. I don't do music for money. Like I obviously, you know, we make a living doing it, but like money's not my first priority with it. But you know, I was able to, I was working at a music store, and I mean, you know, it was hard to make ends meet, you know. So to be able to do, I think we did 2 shows in one day once, or one day with Scott once, and it was like, he gave me a check for like $400, and I was like, whoa, dude, this is like, and that's not even a lot of money, but I was like, dude, it would take me like 2.5 weeks to make this at my music store. This is crazy. So it was cool when I started doing that, and then I just, you know, one thing led to another, and I started working with certain people, and got busy and busier, and doing this and doing 2 or 3 shows in a day with other things. And but it was real tough to manage all that just me, you know, trying to, because I would literally have to take all the drums down, you know, go to the next show, I'd have to line this up, line that up. So it was tough, but you know, it was fun though. I don't regret it. It was awesome, and I think it all kind of led me to being here, and I think, you know, I think it's for the best. So, but yeah, I've done everything musically. I mean, I haven't really done like jazz and stuff like that. I would like to get into it, but you know, that's pretty much the only thing, like jazz and like Latin style music and all that. So, but I like it. I respect it. I just haven't played a lot of it. So.
Okay. So how has the rehearsal process been going? I see you've obviously learned 2 medleys already, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's been going good. We're actually, I was glad I didn't have to cancel tonight because we had talks of doing a rehearsal tonight, and you know, I really wanted to come on here because I need just a break from, not that I'm not having fun, but it's like I've been on the go since I've started with the band and doing like the recording drums for the album, and then I have to get it all ready to send it's a really long process, and and I just, I do want to like get practicing again, and I have to learn other medleys, and he's got a new one that he's working on too, like another medley. So I have to learn the 1 and 2, and then I have to learn the 5 or the 5th one, which is coming out. So it's been I mean, I can kind of, and I'm still trying to get all the songs down, but one of the good things about what I did for the things that I did for years playing with all different bands is I have the ability to write out like charts for songs. So with the medley, like for someone to sit there and memorize that, it would be really tough. Like, I mean, you would have to listen to it. I used to do that before I did any sort of charting. I used to sit and just listen to it for like a week straight, and then I would have to remember it. But now what I can do is I can kind of, and I kind of use my iPad for that. And now with the medley 4, which is the first one I learned, I don't need it anymore because I know that. But like, I'm able to go, like, if you were to say, hey, we're going to do medley 5 on Friday, I can actually chart it out, and I would probably be able to get through it without any issues, so I can, because I can write out like, all right, this song is going to go 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, then we're going to change 1 bar fill into this song. So I can kind of, as long as I practice it a couple times, I can do that, which is nice. And so I've done a lot of that, but it's been going good though. I'm excited. There's so much chaos going on, so I just want to really delve in, get the rest of their set down, and then work on adding more originals as far as and covers too. So yeah, it's been good though. It's been very good. So
do you know music theory then? Because you were talking about bars and stuff.
no.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately,
I didn't know.
I think Richie said he knows music
Yeah,
theory.
he does. But I know, yeah, because I know Adam and Nick said they don't. So I was just curious. I mean, a lot of musicians don't. So I was just wondering. So
yeah, no. It's it is tough. Yeah, I mean, I wish I did. I wish I practiced that. I wish so many things. I wish I had a time machine, but I wish I would have focused on it a little more when I was a kid and like reading and all that. But I know what you're saying. I did show Adam like the chart for it, and he's like, "What's that, man?" I'm like, "Well, no, he's like, I couldn't play that at all." I'm like, "No, you could easily play that. It's just once you hear it, I mean, it's literally like an AC/DC rock beat." And he's like, "Oh, that's all that is?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that difficult. It's just you just have to do it. That's all it is. With reading, it's just you just have to do it, and it's different with drums too. Drums it's how can I explain it? Like with on the I'm sorry, the sheet music for like trumpet, guitar, and all that, like there's different notes in there. The drums, all the little bars, it's just a different drum. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a note. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and I'm not the greatest reader, but I can get, if I have to chart something, I can do it. And it's a really awesome thing to learn. And I want to delve into it some more, but I'm glad I at least know a little bit of it and can kind of get my way through it. But I wish I did know theory though. Yeah, it's tough. I just, I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff, but I don't know.
But I mean, musicians, a lot of these musicians always have different methods. So I mean, it's just interesting to find out.
It is. It really is. Yeah, everyone has their own sort of thing, and yeah. But one day I will look into it, and I will kind of try to figure it out. At least a little bit, even like a basic 101, like just thing on how to get chords and structure and all that stuff. So
absolutely.
In the future, yeah.
Well, ladies, we got about like 5 more minutes. If you have any burning questions.
Do you have a favorite song that you like to play? Whether it's with Evan or older song?
For the originals, I really like the Midwest Girls song.
Yep.
And yeah, I really like that song. And it's well, I don't know if I could really explain it, but because Adam writes a lot of songs, and he wrote a song for a good friend of ours, and it just has a similar, it's Adam's writing style, so it has a similar vibe. And I was like, man, I really like this song when I was learning it, and I'm like, oh man, okay, it's got a similar vibe to this other song, and it's not the same obviously, but it has a similar vibe, and I'm like, that's why I like the song so much. I'm like, I don't know, I like that just real, it's just got a really cool flow, and the beats that are in there are cool. I wish I would have tracked it on the drums. I wish I could have played on that, but it's cool though. I do like that. For originals, I like that one right now until we start playing some new stuff. So covers, any of the medleys I like playing, and that what's the other one? The Lose Somebody song. I like playing that
Yes.
one too. Yeah.
That one's a good one. It's a newer one. It's good.
Yes, yeah. So any of the medleys and that song, I would say, for covers. So
Okay. Cool. We like
So
we
will
like
we ever
Midwest
hear
girls
you
too.
Sing?
what's that?
Will we ever hear you sing?
Oh no. You guys won't really be following. Well, you won't talk to me anymore if you start hearing me sing, because it's no good. You'll still follow the band, but you'll be like, I don't know about that drummer anymore.
No.
I wish I could. I could do like some haze and yeahs and woes and all that, but I can't. Singing.
Okay.
I'll let Selena do that.
That's fine. She dances with us, so she's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she loves it. Yeah, she's having a great time.
She's cool.
Yes.
I guess
that-
I'll do one more. Any other hobbies besides drumming?
I think that's one of my problems. I don't really have any other problems besides drumming. I like recording. I mean, I love doing that, but it's really all music based. I mean, I always try to think about that. I should get some other hobby, I mean, but I just don't. I don't know. Like nothing really interests me that much. I'm sure there's some stuff that kind of will my interest every now and then, but it's really just drumming and recording. And I really would like to get into like mixing, and I think that's why Richie and I get along so well, because well, one of the reasons why, but he does a lot of mixing as well. He mixes everything, but how he does it and just the process, I really enjoy. So
Okay. You're not watching anything new on Netflix or anything?
oh my god. No, I think I watch the same thing every night before I go to bed.
Which is what?
My bedtime show is some space thing. I think it's
Okay.
called like something Cosmos or something. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah. So, but Selena's always trying to get me. We watch like house hunting, LA house hunting or something like that. It's very like it's very planned out. Like I just all the drama that goes on. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
They're all the same.
yeah, it's like, what is going on here? It's too planned out.
Yeah. Every episode's the same.
Yeah, and they're just, I don't know. It's funny though. I like it. I mean, I enjoy shows like that where it's like like making a house that you walk in, it looks terrible, and then you look at the end and it's like, whoa, so I like stuff like that. I get into that, but I don't want to do any construction. I don't like that. So
Never. Never.
my dad ruined that for me when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So
Okay.
I'll just
Well, thank you so much. This was so cool.
yeah.
We were
Definitely.
excited to do this.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and it was sorry if some of my answers were too long. I talk a lot sometimes, but
It makes the interview rather than just one word answers.
yeah,
Exactly, yes.
it's,
And we want to welcome you to the band. This is great.
thank you so
You're
much.
awesome.
I think it's so cool that you guys do this too. It's really I think I was talking with Lori, and it's like having fans and friends like yourself that do something like this and show up as often as you guys do. I mean, it's I don't know, it's hard to, I mean, obviously I can tell you it means a lot, but I mean, it's because anyone can say that, but it really does mean a lot, having you guys out. And obviously sometimes we all don't get to chat as much as we would like, but even if we don't, just know that it means a lot. It does. And all this stuff you guys do, you know, playing in bands for as long as I have and as long as the guys have, it really, it's like none other to have fans and friends like you guys. So.
Oh, thank you.
Real.
When you guys shut down, we shut down a bit. We were like, what do we do on weekends now?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I was lost myself. I mean, I just kind of sat in here and practiced a lot, but it's, you know,
yeah.
there's not the human element there. You're just by yourself, and it's I don't like that. So I want to get out and play, you know?
Yes. And we will for sure. Fest season is coming.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And we got new songs and all that. So
We can't wait.
yeah, I think you
excited.
guys will like them. It's very diverse, and yeah, I'm excited about it. So
Excited for that new medley.
yeah, I know. I haven't heard it yet. Rich, you showed me a little bit of it, and I just know Rosanna was in it, so I was real happy about that. So
Okay.
that's the only thing I can tell you about it.
We would message him every once in a
I
while.
got Toto, Rosanna. And I'm like, all right, I'm in.
We would message him constantly. I think we bugged him for a while. We're like, don't take out Daydream Believer. Don't take out this one. Keep this one in there too.
Oh, did he have you guys do like the what is it? It's so crazy how he does that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I wrote little notes in the margins. I was like, get rid of this, put this in there. Don't get rid of this, please.
That's huge to have you guys doing that. To have anyone that'll take time to do that, because I mean, you guys are the ones that are going to hear it. So that's the most important, you know. And you guys usually write, because I love playing them, so I think they're great. So whatever you guys have helped on is good work.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
We had a great time.
Awesome, wonderful. Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing this. And are you guys going to be out this weekend or?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Always.
Very cool. Well then, yeah, I will see you guys then for sure. And I appreciate you having me on. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks
right.
everyone for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Take care.
I've got something I think I need to say. Wherever you go is where I want